What do you want?
Steven, are you busy?
I don't know. It depends. What do you want?
Are you busy right now?
It depends. What do you want?
Oh, sorry, my bad. Alex, and so we need help with like a roommate situation.
What's your roommate
So like a
situation?
funny one. They're like trying to do like a math thing,
Okay.
and I don't really. They said like they want to talk to JSTOK or Destiny to get a good third party present.
Okay. What's your thing?
I think it'd be better if Alex explains. Let me bring my phone over there. They're getting here. Here you go. You can explain it to Steve. Here you go.
I'm going to explain the whole situation. I would need to explain the numbers.
Okay, go ahead.
He needs the chart. You have to send him the chart.
I feel like he's not going to want to go through all that work.
Okay. Explain. What do you got? What's going on?
Okay. So I'm trying to figure out how to explain this in like a second. So we have two people that moved out of the house, right? And we're doing a square footage system. We're divvying up the square footage for what everybody owes this month, splitting it evenly. So we had 6, we're down to 4, so we're splitting that 4 ways. An issue came about where we have a chart calculating the rent. And so what I typically pay per month only increased by about $120, which is incongruent with splitting both of the rooms 4 ways. That discrepancy made me want to, or call, I guess, issues with the chart. And what else? Like where
It's so hard to explain. I feel like
it's very difficult to explain in a very short period of time. But okay, I called issues with the chart. What were your issues with me saying that?
so I basically have this system, right, where I just do credit and debit. Everything that they owe me goes on like the credit side, and like debit, like whatever money they've given me, I put into the debit side. And I literally just plainly state what they owe me on the chart. And so let's say
Wait. Is the
Rent
issue with the
plus-
chart or is the issue with splitting rent?
The issues with the chart.
the issue is that, for example, the way I think Alex's brain works is like rent is $475 and utilities is, let's say, like $150, right?
Okay.
And so he'll send me like, oh, I'll send you $650, and then he'll send me like, can I send you $650 at the beginning of the month? And I still haven't calculated utilities, and so I'm assuming utilities are going to end up being somewhat over that. And so I'm like, yeah, sure, just send me $650 while I calculate I guess I don't communicate this, but he sends me $650, and then as soon as I calculate utilities, it ends up being like $675 or something. He's like, why did I overpay you for rent? And then it becomes like a thing of like, I'm like, no, like the money carries on because it just gets added to like.
Wait. Why not just pay after the month is over?
Why not just pay after the month is over?
Yeah, like on the 30th or on the 1st of this month, pay for all the charges from last month.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, or that is what we do.
No. Okay, so the issue is that we had several people in the house that were insolvent for rent. So what I did, because I was trying to be a good friend, is I was giving you a massive lump sum that was overpaying every month, so that way it would accommodate for the fact that half of our roommates wouldn't pay $300, $400, $500 at the start of every month. So I would give you often $150, $100 extra in the hopes that you would tell me if, hey, I got all the money from the other people. Here's the money that you overpaid back, but you never did. And apparently it was going on the sheet and you were just saving it up for excess months without telling me.
But then it ended up like I had to calculate, and you actually, what you paid me wasn't even enough to cover.
If that's true, why am I only paying $100 extra, one like fifth of my rent for 2 people being out of our house?
And that's what I'm saying. It's like
Because there's either something wrong with the chart or I had credit carry over.
well, if you look
Those
at
are the only 2 realities.
when you look at the chart, I still haven't put water
Wait,
traps
hold
and
on.
gas.
This is
meters.
retarded. I'm so sorry. How is this so
Yeah,
complicated?
it is retarded.
No.
I don't.
You should just, at the end of the month, you have rent, which is going to be the same every month. And then you have whatever utilities are. You get those bills are the same, right? Unless heating and air or whatever, or you have air conditioner down in Texas, right? I'm pretty sure they give you that at the end of the month, right? Like, and then you just split it 4 ways. You say, this is what you owe me, and that's it, right? That's it.
Yeah.
How is it more complicated than this? That's it.
the reason why it's more complicated is because I'm often trying to give him more money up front because the rest of our roommates cannot pay the amount of money in the hopes that he
Well,
can
then don't
remain
do that.
solvent.
You should be loaning
Yeah.
the money then to those roommates, and that's it.
No, because the roommates
roommate?
aren't good for the money.
If they're not good for the money, then
roommates
wait.
aren't good.
If the roommates aren't good for the money, then how are you ever going to get any money back?
Well, they aren't good for the money until like later in the month, usually.
Yeah, but then you lend it to them. Why lend it to the guy on behalf of it? You should just lend it to the roommates. Here's $100, pay him or whatever, and then figure it out. Pay me back.
Genuinely because they won't do it.
Then don't cover for them. You're never going to get that money back.
Well, I'm trying to prevent Danny from getting fucked, so I'm giving Danny the money.
That's his responsibility, not yours. If you want to lend money to your roommates, you can do that, but you can't like proxy lend them to that. Just if you want to, yeah, that's his problem. Let him figure that out. What do you mean? You're a renter. That's not your responsibility. Is your name on the lease?
No,
Well,
but
then-
he's my friend.
Then that's okay though. That's him to figure out. That's not on you.
Okay, you heard it from Destiny. I should fuck you.
You're not. No. Wait. Whoa. Wait. You're not. No.
The thing is,
You're not. Wait. You're not fucking him. You're just paying your obligation of the rent. That's it. If the other people can't pay, then
No, I understand what you're saying. I think it is. I want to make sure that he can buy things, he can do things. So I'm willing to. The only issue that I'm having is that it's not being communicated to me when I'm overpaying. That's it. It's being communicated. No, you do not. No, you do not.
Like for example, right? Let me give you what happened this past month. That it's like the kind of situation that we're kind of having like a whole debate about.
No, this past month isn't the issue.
No, it
This
is.
past month exposed the issue.
Okay, how do you know this has been going on in the past?
Because the system itself has a flaw, which is you're not telling me when I overpay. That's what got exposed.
No, it does say when you overpay.
No, it doesn't.
Dude, right
Because
here, this yellow number says when the debit is more than the credit.
Yeah, and
which
you
means
give
the
me
money
that,
you
give me that money back.
dude, it carries on to every month. Like
Yeah, I never knew that. So why wouldn't you just give me the money?
because you never have excess cash that you pay me.
Okay, then we're back at square one. How am I only paying $100 more when there's two people leaving?
Are you only paying $100?
Yes.
Because I haven't calculated gas and water.
That still would not
And
make
you
up
paid-
for that discrepancy. I'm adding that in the discrepancy.
And you paid $750 and rent has gone up to $710. Bro, you can look at this.
I did. Literally, we just went over that. The problem is you're crediting an account instead of giving the money back to me, which we had communicated something that you should have done. I think if I'm trying to front you cash, that way you can be like solvent. You should, at the very least, if I overpay, give
when
me
you
my
overpay,
money.
I'll give you the money back.
You didn't. That's the point. That's why
Okay.
we're here. You did not.
Okay. Like let me explain this and see what they think, right? Utilities ends up being around $200 plus,
Sure.
right?
Mhm.
The rent we usually pay is $475,
Sure.
right? One of our roommates left, so rent goes up by like $100 ish.
Yep.
So that puts us at $575.
Mhm.
How much do you think we're gonna end up paying this month?
Well, no, I'm not.
At five. Okay, wait. Okay, $575. Okay, $200 ish is utilities. Oh, that's gonna put us at like $775, right?
Mhm.
You sent me $750.
Yep. And then you.
Is that
I owe you
excess?
another $100.
Well, now because the other roommate left, now you owe me $100.
100 flat, by the way. It's like 160. Where
It's a lot more than 100 because two people are gone.
it's $200 extra though. That's the calculation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You.
It's not
Oh,
200,
bro, you
more
literally
than-
said it yourself.
more than 200,
You owe me
more
100.
than 200. Okay, very
You owe
basic,
me
very
$100.
basic math. How much did each of the base rent
Okay,
of the people who left?
hold on. Wait. Let's resolve this real quick because you keep saying way more. Okay, hold on. How
I'm
much?
saying you way more money. No, I'm saying that.
No, stop. How much? Okay, how many roommates were there before?
6.
There were 6 roommates. How much did they all pay in rent collectively together?
3,000 base.
3,000 for everybody. Was everybody paying 500 apiece, or was there some people paying more or
Nope.
less?
There's square footage. Weird math.
Okay, so 2 people have left, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
So the 4 of you have approximately $1,000 additional burden to carry over for rent. So each of you
Yeah.
should be probably paying about $250 a month more in rent. And then also, what
Yeah.
were your utilities before?
We were paying roughly 200 each.
200
so it'd
each? Okay.
Yep. So that would be what?
So that means that you
1,200.
should have to pay $100 more each, plus $250 more each. So that means that all of your rents should have appreciated by about $350 a month, right?
And
Yeah.
mine did not.
Okay.
So what
What
happened?
do you mean?
Mine did not. So what happened?
Okay, well, it's
Well, he just did the math. He
no.
did it.
Well, the math is incredibly. He's rounding the fuck out of everything. He's rounding the fuck out of everything. Let me. Because we're rounding the fuck out of everything. Utilities we pay 100, like 80.
I should be paying over $1,000 this month. Why am I paying $850?
Wait, why
God,
should
really
you be
wish I
paying?
could-
Why are you?
No, dude, you're retarded. Bro, it's the two people missing. We're paying what, like?
So his math works.
Yeah, like 1,000.
Yeah, utilities are
You-
even.
Oh, well, utilities we're still charging them. We're still charging on the chart. We're still charging them for utilities. I'm not charging.
Why? Okay, even if we are still charging for that, I'm
So that
still
means you
off
don't
by-
owe utilities.
Even still,
For utilities, we're not taking on the charge.
$50.
1,000 divided by 4 is how much?
250
Yeah, 250. Oh, so you should be paying 250 more
plus
No, it
the.
should be more than that.
plus the utilities.
Yes, plus my base
The
utility.
utilities haven't been.
Okay, so my base number isn't going to change. How much I owe by default typically isn't going to change.
Wait.
Because it's still my cut of the utility.
You guys are paying. Also, wait. You guys are paying 200 each for utilities with 6 of you there.
Yeah.
How are you paying 1,200 a month in utilities? What all do you?
Yep.
Our air conditioning has been like broken, and sometimes it'll stay on. I think this has happened to me in the past where like the air conditioning stays on while it's broken, and it goes into like overdrive because it's trying to like cool down the house,
It's also
but like it can't cool down the house because
It's a lot of shit to cool down.
Yeah.
yeah, it's fucking Texas.
How
Like,
much?
beginning
How
of
is
the
your
month on the-
average AC bill a month?
Bro, it's gonna be nuts. Like $800-$900. That's retarded. Yeah. Bro, like $800 is crazy.
I just Googled it because I was curious. On average, Texans pay $48.62 per month for air conditioning. How big is your house? Is this a mansion or?
5,000 feet.
It's 4,000
Yeah,
square
like,
feet.
what
4,000 square feet.
Oh, is it 4,000? Oh, yeah, I remember. He
Yeah,
corrected
4,000
me.
square feet. We have a big house, but like the electric has been fucked. Also, everyone streams. The PC is running all the time.
Well, they don't
Wait, the TC is running? The what?
The TVs and shit. Like the AC is running all
Yeah,
the time.
that's not driving up. That's okay.
Yeah, the air conditioning is mostly.
Anomalies are air conditioning and charging the.
Yeah, I have an electric car.
What is the Wait, what is the wait, is there an air conditioning bill? Has anybody seen?
Yeah, they're like the air conditioning bills are like $800. They're crazy. Yeah, I guess. Or like 700. Or no, not air conditioning bill. Oh yeah, like I'm being retarded. Yeah, I don't know the air conditioning bill. Is that a thing? Yeah, just electric bill. Wait, who said air conditioning bill?
He did.
He wants to know if you have like a receipt that says like, is it just on the website? They just
Oh, like the power usage for the AC or whatever.
Do you see it from the electric company?
Did the phone die?
No, I'm here.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
how many miles a month do you put on that car?
Not enough to cost that much.
I'm curious what
We
that
maybe
electric bill is.
we maybe drive monthly, I'd say, what, 100?
100 miles?
Maybe.
Okay, so it's like not even being used. So then that car can't even be.
Because we go to the gym every day. It's like, what, 3 miles away, there and back. So it's 6.
if you look at the electricity
No, it'd be
usage,
less than that.
you can see how like significantly lower it is in like winter. It's actually really crazy.
Be 630 is 180.
We're paying like 2/3 less in like beginning of the year.
No, it'd be more than that.
And then in the summer, and then like I said, it's been like broken, and so it breaks. And this has happened to me before that the electricity bill goes like nuts when the air conditioning breaks, because what it does is there's like a thermometer inside the house, and when it reaches the temperature, it'll, like shut off.
Yeah, thermostat.
And since yeah, and so whenever it's broken, the air conditioning will just go into like fucking overdrive because it's trying to cool down the house, but like it doesn't cool down the house.
recurring issue with
And
the
so
electricity.
just like
Part of the reason why we're trying to move.
it's like really fucked. I'm pretty sure that's what happens.
Okay, well, good luck. I don't this like chart or paying ahead or whatever. Just pay people what they owe at the end of the month. And I don't know why you're doing anything else. Seems like
It's because he's trying to. I don't know what.
I'm trying to allow you to be able to do things with your money because we had a constant complaint where half the roommates couldn't pay and then you were running out of money and you had nothing that you could do. If you want me to just pay what I owe, then you can get fucked.
Wait a second. Wait, hold on. Who owns the? Does he own the house?
No.
We're leasing it. Yeah, we're leasing it.
Oh, it's not your responsibility. I don't know why you would just don't do this. It's no, yeah. Put one person in charge of it, and then he'll be motivated to make up the difference, and then you guys can go from there, rather than having multiple people trying to take care of the same problem.
Yeah. Like, yeah, he can do that, but he's like, oh, he's doing this favor or whatever, and he's trying to like prove to me that the favor he's doing is like he's like overpaying by like a lot, but the truth is like you're not overpaying.
I'm overpaying.
Okay, good luck.
Literally, according to your chart, I'm overpaying.
No, dude. Base rent goes up by like what, $200, right?
No, base rent doesn't
250?
move. Base rent.
No, with the two people gone.
Oh, no. Yeah, sure. I think doing it like that is stupid. We should calculate how much we owe typically and then just divvy up evenly what they are leaving behind. That is the easiest way to do it.
Okay, yeah, just don't pay me utilities until I ask for them. We'll do that. I literally don't see what
The problem that we had with that prior is you had $0 inside of your account. Actually, weren't you negative in your account for a while?
Who cares about his
Okay, so
account?
we're-
That's not your account. Who cares? Let him manage his shit.
He's my
Fuck.
friend. I care.
That's his.
No,
That's
I
on
don't-
him. Do you help him wipe his ass too? What do you mean? Do you check his diaper every day to make sure he's not walking around with shit leaking out of his fucking asshole? Are you gonna help
No,
him
no,
wipe?
no,
Like, what do you
I'll
mean? No,
ask.
that's let him figure his own
Yeah.
shit out. Who cares?
And if I do need excess like money or something because someone's not paying, then I'll literally ask. The thing is,
Asking is what made me pay all of the rent up front every single time.
and the thing is,
Because it happened so frequently, and then I just started paying that way every time.
But-
and the only thing that I wanted in return is if I was over the mark for you to pay me back.
yeah, okay. Let's look at this situation, right? The one where you sent me $750, right? I didn't see that as overpaying because
Okay. Federalist number 2. Written by John Jay. When the people of America reflect that they are now called upon to decide a question which, in its consequences, must prove one of the most important that ever engaged their attention, the propriety of their taking a very comprehensive as well as very serious view of it will be evident. Nothing is more certain than the indispensable necessity of government, and it is equally undeniable that whenever and however it is instituted, the people must cede to it some of their natural rights in order to vest it with requisite powers. It is well worthy of consideration, therefore, whether it would conduce more to the interest of the American to the people of America that they should, to all general purposes, be one nation under one federal government, or that they should divide themselves into separate confederacies and give to the head of each the same kind of powers which they are advised to place in one national government. Basically, the right, you have to in order to have a government with powers, obviously you're ceding some kind of power to the government, obviously, right? It has until lately been a received and uncontradicted opinion that the prosperity of the people of America depended upon their continuing firmly united, and the wishes, prayers, and efforts of our best and wisest citizens have been constantly directed to that object. But politicians now appear who insist that this opinion is erroneous, and that instead of looking for safety and happiness in union, we ought to seek it in a division of the states into distinct confederacies or sovereignties. However extraordinary this new doctrine may appear, it nevertheless has its advocates, and certain characters who were much opposed to it formerly are at present of the number. Obviously, the idea of not forming a union is becoming more popular, and there are big people that are taking up that position. Whatever may be the arguments or inducements which have wrought this change in the sentiments and declarations of these gentlemen, it certainly would not be wise in the people at large to adopt these new political tenets without being fully convinced that they are founded in truth and sound policy. It has often given me pleasure to observe that independent America was not composed of detached and distant territories, but that one connected, fertile, wide-spreading country was the portion of our Western Sons of Liberty. Providence has, in a particular manner, blessed it with a variety of soils and productions, and watered it with innumerable streams for the delight and accommodation of its inhabitants. A succession of navigable waters forms a kind of chain round its borders, as if to bind it together, while the most noble rivers in the world, running at convenient distances, present them with highways for the easy communication of friendly aids and the mutual transportation and exchange of their various commodities. Basically, that even geographically, look at how united we are. With equal pleasure, I have, as often, taken notice that Providence has been pleased to give this one connected country to one united people, a people descended from the same ancestors, speaking the same language, professing the same religion, attached to the same principles of government, very similar in their manners and customs, and who, by their joint counsels, arms, and efforts, fighting side by side throughout a long and bloody war, have nobly established general liberty and independence. This country and this people seem to have been made for each other, and it appears as if it was the design of Providence that an inheritance so proper and convenient for a band of brethren, united to each other by the strongest ties, should never be split into a number of unsocial, jealous, and alien sovereignties. Similar sentiments have hitherto prevailed among all orders and denominations of men among us. To all general purposes, we have uniformly been one people, each individual citizen everywhere enjoying the same national rights, privileges, and protection. As a nation, we have made peace and war. As a nation, we have vanquished our common enemies. As a nation, we have formed alliances and made treaties and entered into various compacts and conventions with foreign states. A strong sense of the value and blessings of union induced the people, at a very early period, to institute a federal government to preserve and perpetuate it. They formed it almost as soon as they had a political existence, nay, at a time when their habitations were in flames, when many of their citizens were bleeding, and when the progress of hostility and desolation left little room for those calm and mature inquiries and reflections which must ever precede the formation of a wise and well-balanced government for a free people. It is not to be wondered at that a government instituted in times so inauspicious should on experiment be found greatly deficient and inadequate to the purpose it was intended to answer. It's basically we're talking about how, look, we're all together in this, we're all the same people, we fought against the same enemy, we're doing all this, but we might have formed a government to fight a war. However, the war is going on, some wild shit. We don't know how to make like the best government in times of war. Obviously, we're just trying to survive. This intelligent people perceived and regretted these defects. Still continuing, no less attached to union than enamored of liberty, they observed the danger which immediately threatened the former and more remotely the latter, and being persuaded that ample security for both could only be found in a national government more wisely framed, they, as with one voice, convened the late convention at Philadelphia to take important subject under consideration. This convention, composed of men who possessed the confidence of the people, and many of whom had become highly distinguished by their patriotism, virtue, and wisdom, in times which tried the minds and hearts of men, undertook the arduous task. In the mild season of peace, with minds unoccupied by other subjects, they passed many months in cool, uninterrupted, and daily consultation, and finally, without having been awed by power or influenced by any passions except love for their country, they presented and recommended to the people the plan produced by their joint and very unanimous councils. Admit for so is the fact that this plan is only recommended, not imposed. Yet let it be remembered that it is neither recommended to blind approbation nor to blind reprobation, but to that sedate and candid consideration which the magnitude and importance of the subject demand, and which it certainly ought to receive. So a bunch of smart people came together. These people are all patriotic. They are concerned about the well-being of their citizens, and they've put together this plan. They're not telling you have to accept it. They merely ask that you consider it. Don't accept it out of hand. Don't turn it away out of hand, right? But consider it seriously. Admit but this, as was remarked in the foregoing number of this paper, is more to be wished than expected, that it may be so considered and examined. Experience on a former occasion teaches us not to be too sanguine in such hopes. It is not yet forgotten that well-grounded apprehensions of imminent danger induced the people of America to form the memorable Congress of 1774. That body recommended certain measures to their constituents, and the event proved their wisdom, yet it is fresh in our memories how soon the press began to teem with pamphlets and weekly papers against those very measures. Not only many of the officers of government who obeyed the dictates of personal interest, but others from a mistaken estimate of consequences, or the undue influence of former attachments, or whose ambition aimed at objects which did not correspond with the public good, were indefatigable in their efforts to persuade the people to reject the advice of that patriotic Congress. Many, indeed, were deceived and deluded, but the great majority of the people reasoned and decided judiciously, and happy they are in reflecting that they did so. I don't know I don't have a well-rounded history of things that sprung from the 1774 Congress, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't speak to it. Sounds like it was pretty cringe, though. They considered that the Congress was composed of many wise and experienced men. That, being convened from different parts of the country, they brought with them and communicated to each other a variety of useful information. That, in the course of the time they passed together in inquiring into and discussing the true interests of their country, they must have acquired very accurate knowledge on that head. That they were individually interested in the public liberty and prosperity, and therefore that it was not less their inclination than their duty to recommend only such measures as, after the most mature deliberation, they really thought prudent and advisable. So okay, just talking about how these guys are wise. They came together, they, thought about things. And they made good recommendations. These and similar considerations then induced the people to rely greatly on the judgment and integrity of the Congress, and they took their advice, notwithstanding the various arts and endeavors used to deter them from it. But if the people at large had reason to confide in the men of that Congress, few of whom had been fully tried or generally known, still greater reason have they now to respect the judgment and advice of the convention, for it is well known that some of the most distinguished members of that Congress, who have been since tried and justly approved for patriotism and abilities, and who have grown old in acquiring political information, were also members of this convention, and carried into it their accumulated knowledge and experience. People that were part of the first Congress went to the Constitutional Convention. If you trusted them, you should trust them doing the convention, right? It's worthy of remark that not only the first, but every succeeding Congress, as well as the late convention, have invariably joined with the people in thinking that the prosperity of America depended on its union. To preserve and perpetuate it was the great object of the people in forming that convention. And it is also the great object of the plan which the convention has advised them to adopt. With that propriety, therefore, or for what good general purpose, are attempts at this particular period made by some men to depreciate the importance of the Union? Or why is it suggested that 3 or 4 confederacies would be better than one? I am persuaded in my own mind that the people have always thought right on this subject, and that their universal and uniform attachment to the cause of the Union rests on great and weighty reasons, which I shall endeavor to develop and explain in some ensuing papers. Those who promote the idea of substituting a number of distinct confederacies in the room of the plan of the convention seem clearly to foresee that the rejection of it would put the continuance of the Union in the utmost jeopardy. That certainly would be the case, and I sincerely wish that it may be as clearly foreseen by every good citizen that whenever the dissolution of the Union arrives, America will have reason to exclaim, in the words of the poet, "Farewell, a long farewell to all my greatness." So I mean, like, this is, we haven't gotten anything specific yet, but like basically, Jay argues that the nation springs from a common background of people who have shared a common struggle and only survived up to this point because of how important a union of all these states was seen as. Argue that the states will only survive a strong federal government moving forward. Federalist number 3. More from John Jay. Oh, these have titles. Wait, do they all have titles? Oh, they do have titles. The same subject continued. Cringe Lord. It is not a new observation that the people of any country, if, like the Americans, intelligent and well-informed, seldom adopt and steadily preserve or persevere for many years in an erroneous opinion respecting their interests. That consideration naturally tends to create great respect for the high opinion which the people of America have so long and uniformly entertained of the importance of their continuing firmly united under one federal government, vested with sufficient powers for all general and national purposes. Okay, so if a country is persevering for a while, it must be because they've adopted some kind of like good idea, I guess. Yeah. The more attentively I consider and investigate the reasons which appear to have given birth to this opinion, the more I become convinced that they are cogent and conclusive. Among the many objects to which a wise and free people find it necessary to direct their attention, that of providing for their safety seems to be the first. The safety of the people, doubtless, has relation to a great variety of circumstances and considerations, and consequently affords a great latitude to those who wish to define it precisely and comprehensively. At present, I mean only to consider it as it respects security for the preservation of peace and tranquility, as well as against dangers from foreign arms and influence, as from dangers of the like kind arising from domestic causes. As the former of these comes first in order, it is proper it should be first discussed, Let us therefore proceed to examine whether the people are not right in their opinion that a cordial union under an efficient national government affords them the best security that can be devised against hostilities from abroad. So the first and most important part of a federal government is to protect you from foreign enemies. Makes sense. The number of wars which have happened or will happen in the world will always be found to be in proportion to the number and weight of the causes, whether real or pretended, which provoke or invite them. If this remark be just, it becomes useful to inquire whether so many just causes of war are likely to be given by united America as by disunited America. For if it should turn out that united America will probably give the fewest, then it will follow that in this respect the Union tends most to preserve the people in a state of peace with other nations. The just causes of war, for the most part, arise either from violation of treaties or from direct violence. America has already formed treaties with no less than 6 foreign nations, and all of them, except Prussia, are maritime and therefore able to annoy and injure us. She has also extensive commerce with Portugal, Spain, and Britain, and, with respect to the two latter, has in addition the circumstance of neighborhood to attend to. It is of high importance to the peace of America that she observe the laws of nations towards all these powers, and to me it appears evident that this will be more perfectly and punctually done by one national government than it could be either by 13 separate states or by 3 or 4 distinct confederacies. Because when once an efficient national government is established, the best men in our country will not only consent to serve, but also will generally be appointed to manage it, for, although town or country or other contracted influence may place men in state assemblies or senates or courts of justice or executive departments, yet more general and extensive reputation for talents and other qualifications will be necessary to recommend men to offices under the national government, especially as it will have the widest field for choice and never experience that want of proper persons which is not uncommon in some of the states. So basically, that if we want a state of wars, we'd have a better chance if we had just one territory managing treaties rather than like a bunch of different territories with a bunch of different treaties, and that hopefully a federal government will call upon it more qualified people than just individual state governments because it's a wider government, and so these people will be more qualified to make these treaties, etc. All this. Hence, it will result that the administration, the political councils, and the judicial decisions of the national government will be more wise, systematical, and judicious than those of individual states, and consequently more satisfactory with respect to other nations, as well as more safe with respect to us. Music? There you go. Because, under the national government, treaties and articles of treaties, as well as the laws of nations, will always be expounded in one sense and executed in the same manner, whereas adjudications of the same point and questions in 13 states, or in 3 or 4 confederacies, will not always accord or be consistent, and that, as well from the variety of independent courts and judges appointed by different and independent governments, as from the different local laws and interests which may affect and influence them. The wisdom of the convention in committing such questions to the jurisdiction and judgments of courts appointed by and responsible only to one national government cannot be too much commended. Okay. Let's just sum this. Jay argues that having a national unified government produces better environments for its people. The first argument concerning peace. He argues that one national government has more capability and uniformity in accepting and enforcing treaties than multiple governments would, therefore maintaining greater periods of peace for the citizens. Because the prospect of present loss or advantage may often tempt the governing party in 1 or 2 states to swerve from good faith and justice, but those temptations, not reaching the other states, and consequently having little or no influence on the national government, the temptation will be fruitless, and good faith and justice be preserved. The case of the Treaty of Peace with Britain adds great weight to this reasoning. Because even if the governing party and a state should be disposed to resist such temptations, yet as such temptations may and commonly do result from circumstances peculiar to the state and may affect a great number of the inhabitants, the governing party may not always be able, if willing, to prevent the injustice mediated or to punish the aggressors. But the national government, not being affected by those local circumstances, will neither be induced to commit the wrong themselves, nor want power or inclination to prevent or punish its commission by others. So basically that even if one state could benefit greatly by doing something that would be bad for all the other states, a national government would kind of curtail the interests of the individual states, basically, right? So far, therefore, as either designed or accidental violations of treaties and the laws of nations for just causes of war, they are less to be apprehended under one general government than under several lesser ones, and in that respect, the former most favors the safety of the people. States would also serve to balance each other's interests in a national government. As to those just causes of war which proceed from direct and unlawful violence, it appears equally clear to me that one good national government affords vastly more security against dangers of that sort than can be derived from any other quarter. Because such violences are more frequently caused by the passions and interests of a part than of the whole, of one or two states than of the Union, not a single Indian war has yet been occasioned by aggressions of the present federal government, feeble as it is, but there are several instances of Indian hostilities having been provoked by the improper conduct of individual states who, either unable or unwilling to restrain or punish offenses, have given occasion to the slaughter of many innocent inhabitants. The neighborhood of Spanish and British territories, bordering on some states and not on others, naturally confines the causes of quarrel more immediately to the borderers. The bordering states, if any, will be those who, under the impulse of sudden irritation and a quick sense of apparent interest or injury, will be most likely, by direct violence, to excite war with these nations, and nothing can so effectually obviate that danger as a national government whose wisdom and prudence will not be diminished by the passions which actuate the parties immediately interested. Okay. Basically that like some states may be driven to violent conduct or be driven to immediate action because of a state's unique interest or specific interest, but a federal government would basically help to curtail or stop, I guess, a single state from driving everybody into war, basically. But not only fewer just causes of war will be given to the national government, but it will also be more in their power to accommodate and settle them amicably. Amicably. They will be more temperate and cool, and in that respect, as well as in others, will be more in capacity to act advisedly than the offending state. The pride of states, as well as of men, naturally disposes them to justify all their actions and opposes their acknowledging, correcting, or repairing their errors and offenses. The national government in such cases will not be affected by this pride, but will proceed with moderation and candor to consider and decide on the means most proper to extricate them from the difficulties which threaten them. Besides, it is well known that acknowledgments, explanations, and compensations are often accepted as satisfactory from a strong united nation, which would be rejected as unsatisfactory if offered by a state or confederacy of little consideration or power. In the year 1685, the state of Genoa, having offended Louis XIV, endeavored to appease him. He demanded that they should send their doge, or chief magistrate, accompanied by 4 of their senators, to France to ask his pardon and receive his terms. They were obliged to submit to it for the sake of peace. Would he, on any other occasion, either have demanded or have received the like humiliation from Spain or Britain or any other powerful nation? Well, a unified government can cool and temper the individual interests of the state and also represent a stronger bargaining peace against foreign friend and foe alike. Okay, I'm only going to do 5 of these a day, okay? I think. Okay. Federalist 4, author John J. Will you share these notes? Literally everything is published on my website. I think it's destiny.gg/notes. The same subject continued. Man, he's obsessed with this. Wow, Crane Shield, thanks for 5 gifted subs. My last paper assigned several reasons why the safety of the people would be best secured by union against the danger it may be exposed to by just causes of war given to other nations, and those reasons show that such causes would not only be more rarely given, but also would be more easily accommodated by a national government than either by the state governments or the proposed little confederacies. But the safety of the people of America against dangers from foreign force depends not only on their forbearing to give just causes of war to other nations, but also on their placing and continuing themselves in such a situation as not to invite hostility or insult, for it need not be observed that there are pretended as well as just causes of war. It is too true, however disgraceful it may be to human nature, that nations in general will make war whenever they have a prospect of getting anything by it. Nay, absolute monarchs will often make war when their nations are to get nothing by it for the purposes and objects merely personal, such as thirst for military glory, revenge for personal affronts, ambition, or private compacts to aggrandize or support their particular families or partisans. These and a variety of other motives, which affect only the mind of the sovereign, often lead him to engage in wars not sanctioned by justice or the voice and interests of his people. Hold on. This paper is arguing and protecting the nation from just causes of war. This essay argues against protecting the nation from unjust, pretend causes of war. These and a variety of other motives, which affect only the mind of the sovereign, often lead him to engage in wars not sanctified by justice or the voice and interests of his people. But independent of these inducements of war, which are more prevalent in absolute monarchies, but which well deserve our attention, there are others which affect nations as often as kings, and some of them will, on examination, be found to grow out of our relative situation and circumstances. Wouldn't you use state when referring to these? Nation to be referring to a group of people in these contexts? Wait, they're calling it a national government. What are you talking? I'm just... Complain to him. Okay. Fuck, where was I? Okay. With France and with Britain, we are rivals in the fisheries and can supply their markets cheaper than they can themselves, notwithstanding any efforts to prevent it by bounties on their own or duties on foreign fish. With them and with most other European nations, we are rivals in navigation and the carrying trade, and we shall deceive ourselves if we suppose that any of them will rejoice to see it flourish. For
ruins in relationships.
Hello,
as he
Destiny.
can ever
Are you
since
busy?
his wife left him for
a little bit. What's up? What you got? Hold on, you've got so much background noise.
Okay, I'm gonna end the background noise. Hold on. Let me turn it down. Destiny, I want to have a conversation with you about Sneeko.
What? Why? What about it?
Why did you do this? Like, why did you do this? Why did you do it?
What did I do?
I mean, you ruined me and Sneeko.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, you know what? Actually, Destiny, I actually want to go off on you. Hold on. Let me put on these headphones because I'm actually about to go off. I need like 5 minutes of your time. Because if I'm being honest, can you hear me?
Yep.
You ruined a lot more than just me and Sneeko. If I'm being honest, you put your nose into 2 of my relationships, Destiny. You put your nose into 2 of my fucking relationships, and you fed my head with all this shit, dude. First of all, you made me not trust Sneeko. You made me crash out so many times, and that's why Sneeko left me, because then you would expose that we were even dating. So then everybody knew, oh, Sneeko's a liar, and he's dating a chick from OnlyFans. And boom, he dropped me. And then when you introduced me to Darius, oh, you should fuck with Darius. So then I get with Darius, and then it's, oh, you shouldn't be with him. You guys are toxic. And you started filling my head with all this shit about how Darius didn't really want to be with me or that he didn't love me. Like, Destiny, you literally, like, do you want to fuck me? Like, what is happening?
I don't think I even introduced you to Darius, number one. Number two.
You introduced me to Darius on your kick or keep shit.
Okay,
And then I asked for your advice. I was like, should I even respond to this guy after the Sneeko shit? I was like, should I even respond to this guy? You're like, oh yeah, I mean, he's chill, he's my friend, he's funny, da 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 da.
Is that what was this? What was this conversation?
Go back in our DMs, Destiny. You're the one who gave me the green light to fuck with Darius.
If you're
I asked you
asking
for
me,
advice
if
first.
you're asking me if you should DM somebody, I'm always gonna say, yeah, if you want to, go for it. What do you mean? I'm not gonna tell somebody no. You're not allowed to talk to somebody. Why the fuck? I'm not your fucking dad. What do you mean? Why would you ever even? What do you expect me to say? What?
Yeah, but I treated you like you were my father, Destiny.
That's on you, bro. What are you talking about? We're adults. I'm not your dad. If you wanted to do that, give me fucking power of attorney and let me go to court and adopt you, and I could treat you like a kid if you want. But if you're asking me like, should I talk to a person? Yeah, I guess go for it.
Because you took me from the whole red pill misogynistic
I didn't take you from anywhere. What are you talking about?
You were trying to save me, and then you didn't save me, Destiny. You failed.
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to save you from anything, okay? I'm pretty sure I just make content. I do my thing. I don't think I ever adopted you, took responsibility over you. You ask me for advice sometimes. I'll give you advice when you ask me for advice. That's it.
So, do you want to adopt me?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay. So anyway, have you spoke to Sneeko recently?
No, not for like a year or whatever.
God, I guess we're in the same boat. Destiny, I blame you for this.
Okay.
I still love you, buddy.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ.